and to find out just how high some of South Africa's airlines are flying during the World Cup 2010 here in South Africa. Joining me at the desk is Glenn Orsmond of One Time Holdings, and joining us live on the line as well is ComAir Airways Gidon Novick. I'm going to start off, Glenn, with you, because the word is that we're looking at fewer visitors in South Africa than had been anticipated, but many staying longer and spending more as well. So just what has business been like for One Time during this period so far?
Look, it's only halfway through the World Cup so far, but the first estimates a year ago, I think, were 750,000 foreign soccer supporters would be here. Now the number's probably less than a third of that. So what we've seen in South Africa is a lot of cheap airfares being offered to stimulate the local travel for the South African soccer supporters to fly around the country and watch the games. We've seen so far in June, our numbers are probably up in volumes, about 15% year on year. So we have seen growth numbers. It's been a lot of fun. We've seen a lot of festive soccer matches. We've seen festive airports, and there are a lot of festive flights as well, especially after some of the wins. I've been fortunate. I've watched 3 or 4 games with my family, and it's been great.
Well, let's take it to Gidon now, because how does the amount of foreigners travelling compare to local travellers for ComAir right now, Gidon? Because certainly locals, if they weren't ahead of the kickoff excited about this, they are now certainly caught up in this World Cup mania.
Yeah, we're seeing a very nice mix. The foreigners definitely are coming in. Difficult to get an exact number, but we're seeing a very good uptick from the foreign side. And bear in mind, we've got the 2 brands, the British Airways, and where we're seeing a lot of the foreigners travelling. And then on Kulula, we're seeing a fantastic take-up from locals with all the great pricing that's in the market. And so all in all, it's good. It is a bit early to tell, as Glenn says. It's still not even halfway through the tournament. But we're seeing a lot of excitement and a lot of take-up at this late stage.
Well, Kulula certainly started off things on a pretty interesting note, getting the airline to now be flying Sepp Blatter around. What's the experience been like for you around this entire event, working around the sensitivities of FIFA, so to speak?
Well, it's been quite interesting. I must say the marketing has been a lot of fun. A lot of it was quite lucky on our part. We didn't plan the whole FIFA response that happened with the Kulula campaign. But it's been a lot of fun, and we've had a lot of great support, and I think more importantly, it's resulted in a lot more locals travelling around and going to see the games and getting into the spirit.
Well, Glenn, certainly making marketing initiatives pretty interesting. What about competition amongst the various airlines operating in the country?
Well, what's important for the South African flyer is obviously service and price. And we've seen, as we've lowered prices for the World Cup, so the locals have started flying more. We have had offers of about 300 Rand a flight to Cape Town. Those sold out pretty quickly. And if there are any empty seats, most definitely we'll be selling at those levels as well. Fortunately, throughout the country, there's a lot of available accommodation after the fiasco with Match originally taking up the accommodation and handing it back. So right now, South Africans are all on holiday. All the schools are closed. Now's the time to travel. Accommodation really cheap, and airfares are really cheap right now.
Is that a result more of the market conditions that are prevailing, or as a result, to an extent, of the Competition Commission's investigations that were started a while ago?
Absolutely nothing to do with the Competition Commission investigation. Really, absolutely nothing. Pricing is determined by the market, not by the airlines. And the market right now is saying they will fly if the airfares are cheap. So they force us to bring down our prices, and they're flying. Absolutely nothing to do with the Commission.
If we look at it, Gidon, what pricing strategy have you adopted in particular, looking at the supply-demand dynamic that's at play and how that's affected your strategy specifically?
Yeah, well, we've actually done a lot of good business with Match, and we're doing most of their business in South Africa and taking around the foreigners on our BA brand. But the real opportunity now, I think, is for the locals to get travelling and to, just hop on a flight and go and see some of the games. The coastal games in particular still have seats available, a lot of the games. And, we've seen the empty seats at the stadiums, which is sad to see. And I think it's an opportunity for locals to get involved and go see it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event.
Well,